Stage, everyone in the audience. Welcome. Tonight we're going to have the graduation ceremony for a very special class known affectionately as Session 1402. Please welcome to the stage Monster Trucks on Ice! Ladies and gentlemen, coming up first to the stage to present a diploma to one of our graduates and say some nice things about them. Please welcome to the stage Mr. John Ratliff.
I would like to say a few words about this whole class in general before I get to the specific person who you're going to be speaking about. These guys, level 6, for those of you who are not improvisers, level 6 is about learning a format, and these guys had the misfortune to give me for both level 3 and level 6, because I am, around Coldtowne, notoriously known as someone who thinks format is the devil's handiwork, unless I think of one. Church of Indeterminate Divinity, 7 o'clock next week at this theater. So I kind of came in as bad cop, and there was no good cop, and I laid down the law. And these guys responded to it by working really hard, by throwing themselves into it, by supporting each other fully. I was so impressed by how you guys threw yourself into this. Because level 6, honestly, it's a victory lap. You can blow it off if you want to, you know? And these guys really threw themselves into it. We had like all these... You guys remember like in the church with the storm outside? I was like, I need you to have a feeling! It was very Shakespearean. They completely rose to the occasion. You guys who saw the show tonight, you saw that they completely rose to the occasion. So I just want to thank all of you guys and say it's been a pleasure and a privilege working with you. So the improviser about whom I'm speaking, since it's Mother's Day, I want to point out that this Mother's Day, there is a mother in the world who today, for the first time, this is the first Mother's Day that she could say, my son, the doctor of American Studies. I'm speaking, of course, of Herr Dr. Andrew Friesenthal. I want to point out what Andrew does in his daily life. He's a doctor of American Studies. That means he has a doctorate from a prestigious university for reading comic books and going to musicals?
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, so he's like a pop culture maven, and he has the job that everyone at Coldtowne thinks they could do, but he actually does it for a living. So he's an academic. So in a class full of left-brainy, thinky people, he is among the most left-brainy, thinky. Here's the thing I love about working with Andrew. Speaking as someone who's like that, who's super analytical about improv and everything. He accepted notes and accepted the work with such good grace and such humor. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing that thing again. Just not the slightest bit of defensiveness or overthinking what I was telling him or anything. You were such a pleasure to work with. And just watching you like take all of this stuff. And I can't, after one of the shows, like you came out and you're like, you were doing something in the show that we had talked about. You're like, whoop, yeah, I'm doing that again. You know, it's just exactly what you're supposed to do. Because I know when I do that, I walk out, I'm like, oh God, I suck and I'm terrible. And he's like, oh, I gotta get better at that. I just want to thank you for being such a delightful person to work with and applying your considerable intelligence to this craft and doing it with humility and humor and willingness, and I love watching you play the show tonight. It was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Herr Dr. Andrew Friedman, receiving the most important academic distinction he will get this year.
All right, let's turn up Rock the Cradle of Love for just a second. Yeah, this is a rock, and not easily, it's true. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your next presenter, Miss Katie Moore.
Can't touch this.
Thank you. That song takes me back to the roller rink. Every time I hear it. Anyway, I'm very, very pleased to speak about one of these lovely improvisers named Stuart Chow. And I think the words that best describe Stuart would be support and commitment. And there's a lot to be said about Stuart, as he has really affected this community in a lot of ways that I don't think people have been aware of. As an improviser, you saw the show, Stuart, anytime he came on stage, he was there, he was committed, and he was real. And he was there for his troop mates, which is, you know, it's easy to flake or to second guess yourself, but you can tell when you look at Stuart, his intention is to support his troop, and that's a really, really cool thing. Another thing about Stuart that's super special and important is that Stuart's an intern. But Stuart, Stuart is not just an intern at Coldtowne because he embodies support and commitment, because especially, I would say in the past year, Stuart has gone above and beyond without asking anything in return. There have been times when Stuart will cover shifts, Stuart was cleaning the bathrooms and not getting any sort of like tuition or anything. And he continues to support the theater and have a care and a desire to see the best for Coldtowne, which I think is really, really special. And for me, I mean, it makes me feel a little weepy about it. But I mean, it really, it speaks miles about you as a person, and it's such a blessing to the community to have somebody like you. So, congratulations, you're an improviser.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. But I'm too high and too low. This is good. You know you're down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this energy going for your next presenter. Please on the stage, Michael Jastro.
Dress code violation.
Yes, sorry, I didn't plan ahead. I dressed for a crawfish boil and not graduation, unfortunately. And there's nothing I can do about it because my home is so far away. Dave Buckman once made a good, or was telling me about Chicago and some of the teachers he used to work with, and they said, he was telling me that it was kind of a thing where on teams, people were like, we need a POTUS on the team, meaning a president of the United States, like that alpha male, like aggressive, full of testosterone kind of person. And you need that, but I think you also need on stage someone with kind eyes. Someone with a gentle way of being that the audience will laugh at when you kill him in a dentist chair. I'm speaking, of course, about Benjamin Babcock. the gentle victim. But there's a soothing energy that Benjamin brings to the stage, and it's one that kind of makes the other players on the stage feel trusted and supported, like everything's gonna be okay. And in kind of a world where everyone's screaming at each other trying to get out like the next funny line and acting like presidents of the United States, you need that balance of just, it's cool, we got it, it's gonna be fine, also kill me in this scene. But Benjamin, more than that, is a student of comedy and extremely insightful and bordering on obsessive over the mechanics of improv. And I think that shined through in tonight's show because there was this wonderful move that I'm imagining you made consciously. But even if it was subconscious, I believe that this is because he's put so much work and effort. There was the moment in that Starbucks where the scene before, it was predicted that he was going to get some really complicated drink of like a mocha frappuccino chocolate thing, and then he split second later came in and ordered an Americano, and it may have been the funniest thing I've seen all week because it was so smart. I had Benjamin at an early level, and I'm blanking. 2, yeah. 1 or 2, no, it's early, yeah, I was right. And it was so exciting to watch you from the shadows, and I watch everyone at the theater from the shadows, and then leave without making eye contact. So awesome to watch you take that analysis and that commitment and that work, and then work it and be able to apply that on stage and be there to get everyone's back. It was really exciting watching you perform tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Babcock.
Thank you very much, Astro. Congratulations. Ben, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage our next teacher/presenter. Let's keep this energy going. Lance Gilstrap. What is this song?
Who doesn't love seeing Eli Edson perform? Such a joy to watch, and he has what I like to call the Michael Williams factor, in that you don't always know how intentional the humor is. It's because he's really good, he's really funny, and he could be doing it all intentionally. You don't know. It's because whatever he says, immediately he embraces. He doesn't care what order the words come out of his mouth. He loves it, and he jumps on it, and he's all over it, and it's always so funny. I saw I guess it was a sketch show where you were interviewing Tevis on stage. And it was a show where I guess the idea was you were reading a bunch of like kind of what seemed to be kind of boring questions about like, what do you like more, dogs or cats? And it went on for a long time. And one of the questions was, Velvet Underground, better before or after Lou Reed's death? I still have no idea why that's so funny. It's so fucking funny, and it doesn't matter why it's funny, because Eli could just make this, whatever he says, it's so goddamn funny. And you just bring the just like the raw power. Thank you, raw power of improv, right? You represent the raw power of improv, and you just embrace every fucking thing you do, and it's so incredible to watch. And I'm never not smiling when you're up on stage. Congratulations, Eli.
All right, let's keep it going. Your next presenter, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jericho Thor Crawlmaster.
Thank you. Hey guys, I'm up here on stage because I need to talk about somebody. Before I do that, I'm going to listen names for you and see if you recognize these. Clint Eastwood. Jack Nicholson. Tom Cruise. People who are famous, not just because they are extraordinarily talented, but because they cannot help be anyone but themselves when they perform. And there's a certain simple, strong power to that. Coldtowne. Is so dedicated to his craft and immerses himself wholly, totally, and completely in what he's doing on stage, that everything he does is a slow burn to heaven. And I think he's an amazing performer. My personal anecdote with Michael is that I got to very briefly dress him up as a transvestite serial killer, but never was able to film that scene. And appreciate you lurking around that little video till after 2 a.m. in the morning, letting other people take pretty pictures of you. But someday, man. Cool.
Looking forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Tom.
Yo, Vanilla, kick it one time. Let's kick it.
Congratulations, Michael. We have one more presenter. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. David Buckman.
Well, it's no secret who I'm speaking for, Miss Julia Salas. We like to sing, nothing against everybody else on this stage, but we also, I feel like there's an unwritten tradition we like to save the specialist for the last. Julia is, there's a very proud tradition in improv troupes. Usually, it's a bunch of dudes and a very, very understanding woman. You have that dead mother quality about you. That's usually what happens to that poor unfortunate woman that gets stuck with whatever 5 or 6 or 8 guys she's on stage with. Your Courtney Seveners, your Kristen Hens, your Elizabeth Leader Smiths. That's an old school reference. But Julia is more than just a dead mother on stage. She offers so much assuredness with what she's doing on stage. She comes in and in one line of dialogue, she lays out exactly what is happening in the scene. And it feels like, oh, okay, I know what to do with this. Thank you. And on top of that, Julia has a very unique gift of giving a very unique setup to a scene. She comes in with amazing lines, with amazing walk-ons, with very unique endowments that make her scene so unique and fun to play with. I only got to sub for you once, I think, way back in level 1 or 2. Rachel really wishes she could have been here. She's in rehearsal. There she is. There she is right now. But she also said how much she loved having you in class and what a joy you are to watch and perform and to work with and get to teach. And I'm sure all of your troop mates and anybody that gets to play with you and watch you would agree with me how lucky we are to have you in this community and on stage with us. So thank you very much, Julia. Congratulations, Julia Salas.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, if you could raise your glasses, or if you've never taken an improv class, your first space work lesson, you should know. Oh, this is a kind of glass that we're holding, right? A jar-shaped glass, not too small, at the bottom. All right, and let's all together on 3 celebrate the graduating class of 1402. Monster Trucks on Ice. 1, 2, 3. Hip, hip, hooray! You guys, congratulations. We now bestow upon you the title Improviser. Thank you so much, congratulations for all your work. Please hang out and tell these guys what a wonderful job they did. We'll see you guys all around. Have a good evening.